1.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Moonhawk Studios Presents. I'm kind of your host, Mac Paladin. This might be working. It might not be working. Who knows? With me in the studio is my good friend Adam.
Schrodinger's host here.
Let's be real, Schrodinger's podcast.
No, the rest of us show up on time and all that.
You know what? It's all because of the selling short of this podcast. Anyway, Kevin's in the house.
Somehow, amazingly, and more on that in a moment. Because I'm running on no sleep. No sleep.
Penny fans working the main technicals.
Things are not on fire yet. Check back in 20 minutes.
As he tamps it with a wet towel.
Yeah, as I pull the fire extinguisher off the wall.
Yeah. And
One
we got
of
the golly.
5.
Somehow I'm still here.
Much to your eternal chagrin, right? All right, we got a great show for you tonight, but before we get into that, Adam, what's cooking in the news?
Well, let's see. Well, spring break approaches, which means...
Oh, boy. Oh,
one
boy.
way of putting...
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Spring break's already here.
Well, I'm talking about the local schools. So
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about too.
Well, he has to deal with his niece and nephew.
Yeah. Like spring break differs from where you are, and as far as I understand. Like, anyway, that's my news.
Well,
a lot of watching children this upcoming week.
I see. All right. Kevin, what do you got?
Well, I have had one heck of a day. Because at about around, I'd say, 1:30 last night, my computer went completely and totally dead on me. With a little thing called prepare automatic repair loops and boot loops and Windows completely crashing on me. So me and my dad had to completely reinstall Windows 11 on my computer here, which pretty much took most of the morning. And, well, let's just say that, sacrifices had to be made in order for my computer to get back up to full speed, but better to have a computer than to not have one at all. And in addition to that, I'm pretty much exploiting the fact that my dad has a Quest 2 in the house. And, well, let's just say that I'm going to have a lot of fun with this thing. I mean, I should feel bad for using some equipment made by the company owned by Mark Zuckerberg, but you know what? I don't care. Method to the madness.
I mean, it was already purchased.
Yeah, and also it's from a time before he turned into what he's turned into in the last couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Quest 2 means good Zuckerberg. 3S onward,
I mean, you have seen the movie about those guys, right? I mean,
yeah. Social Network, of course. I posted clips from it.
Been kind of a monster.
Yeah, you deal with you deal with what you got to deal with. So,
back in the days when Facebook was a dating app in 2004.
God.
All I know is that well, if this thing had video and I was and I brought what I'm having my virtual reality helmet right now, showing y'all, oh, you blow your mind, I'll tell you. Yeah. Anyway, with that being the case, and other than, typical work stuff, which is completely freaking slow right now, and probably will be for another week or two,
Yeah.
Petty, what's going on in your world?
Honestly, this week has been much more tame. We're still kind of looking into getting somebody to look at the roof, but because it's going to be dry for the next few weeks, I wouldn't say it's on the back burner, but we are still waiting to hear back from the insurance company about places that they, work with. Because last thing we need is get a quote for, a roof redo and be like, oh yeah, we don't work with those people. You'd have to pay for it out of pocket yourself. So it's one of those, I think mom got a call from the adjuster yesterday about who they work with. She just needs to go through her voicemail. So it's definitely one of those, we'll get it taken care of hopefully before the rainy season starts. And apparently my dad has this bright idea that he's going to get up on the roof and fix it himself, and I'm like, yeah, no you're not, old man. You are 60, like 62 years old. You are not climbing up a ladder at that age. Especially because we have a 2-story house. So he falls off it's done. No more old man. You know? So yeah, that's been an interesting go about. I've also been working on clearing the standing water on the pool from all the snow and rain we've got over since we put the cover on it. I got a cheap like gas siphon pump, just like one of those like hand pump things, and it's been working pretty good. It's one of those things where, because we have till May to get it cleared off, I'm not worried about speed. It's still draining, so just gotta move it every now and then to make sure it doesn't wear away where the pavers are for the pool, and we good. But yeah, other than that, not really a whole lot going on. So Gullix?
I've been having not the best week, honestly, but I had a therapist meeting, so that helped me put some things in order so I can actually try to work on them, I guess. My weekend Pathfinder game, we hosted it, or I hosted at my house while my parents were away last weekend because the normal host's basement is recovering from flooding. And I might see if my parents are okay with hosting it here again anytime in the next few weeks, because the other person who offered to host it has a pretty small apartment, which might be slightly difficult to play at, but we'll see how that goes. I've been having tinnitus in my right ear for like a week now or so, maybe a little bit less. Nothing too bad, just about the level of the way it used to be sometimes when electronics are on. I don't know if you know that or if you experienced that when you were a kid, where you can sometimes hear a high-pitched thing.
That's
But
a
it's
bad
only
oscillator.
But it's only in that ear, and it doesn't go away when I change the locations or turn it off, so that's being a pain. And that's mostly what I've been up to.
Okay, then. Well, broadcasting to you live from the mobile studio in the parking lot of a Wendy's.
It's Saturday night.
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
Yeah, there it is. There was the setup.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did manage to get a second generator for my little solar setup here, and it completely depletes my battery array very rapidly, so that I don't have lights in the living room, and the inverter likes to go beep. So that's kind of a pain in the ass. I need more solar panels and I need more batteries. And then I can actually, operate things normally. But it's been slow because spring break started early here in Tucson for some inexplicable reason. It's like they decided that they were going to send everybody on spring break Friday. And so it's like when I need to be doing $200 a day to pay the rent and everything else, I'm doing like $100 a day. So it's been kind of rough. Last week I was trying to get a jump on this whole payments thing and ended up going out really, really late because my sleep cycle is completely upside down now. I ended up I did actually go out around 7 p.m. last week during the show, but it was rough. And of course, now we have the time change, so everything's like, oh, right, I have to adjust all my show times an hour earlier because I have to pretend I'm on Pacific time because Arizona. Or I don't know, maybe curse the rest of the country for doing time changes that are completely unnecessary. But I'm not going to sit here and argue with farmers on X. Already got enough chuds. I made some reference to something my dad used to experience when he worked for the phone company. When he worked for the phone company, contractors would be lazy asses, not call them to demarcate where the trunk cables are. And they would just come in with a backhoe and a bulldozer and dig a big hole in the ground and rip up water pipes and utility lines and cut through thousands of phone cables and put all of downtown San Diego out of business. This was particularly prevalent in the mid-90s when they were doing that expansion on Lindbergh Field, or rather the first of many expansions. There is still work in progress, apparently, last time I was in San Diego, which was back in September. But I digress. So I put this story out there about how the current Department of Government efficiency is attacking the federal budget with a chainsaw in much the way that contractors try to save a buck by just digging blind and not having the phone company come out and mark the utilities. And some fuck ass decided to jump into the comments there and put some 3-post long screed about how they're glad my dad is retired because he sounds like a lazy government contractor who blah, 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 blah. And I told them to promptly get into one of Elon's rockets and launch themselves into the sun. Because clearly they have zero reading comprehension skills. Which is typical in that particular subset of that 4-letter cult. And yeah, so my block list continues to grow. and I know it doesn't actually prevent them from being able to see my content anymore, thanks to recent changes in the platform. It's just the satisfaction of not having to see their asinine remarks in my mentions anymore. It's not the whole cowardly comment and block thing. I have a rule that if I interact with you twice and I realize that I'm speaking to the equivalent of autonomous concrete, then you get a block. It's a self-preservation technique. It's all about self-care at that point. Because I don't have the time, money, or inclination to educate the entire world on what's actually happening. Or even to explain a single paragraph tweet. If it's not self-evident, I'm in the 99th percentile in both literacy, reading comprehension. So if you can't understand the words that I have written down on the page, that sounds like a you problem.
Mhm.
And every time I comment, there's some smooth brain, low information dipshit in there saying something. So because I am now locked into mobile mode for the foreseeable future, that's what I spend a lot of time doing, is promoting my goods and services and getting angry on the internet. And like I said, I have to enforce that. I have to enforce that 2 interactions and out rule. Because I just don't have time for it. I have other things I literally have to be doing.
Mhm.
Other than that, like I said, I've kind of reconfigured the streaming room a bit. I got a 700 watt generator instead of a 350 watt generator. It was only $163 on Temu, and it got here within 3 days because apparently it was sitting in a warehouse in New York. My next objective is to expand my solar battery array so that way it actually lasts for more than 2 hours, while keeping my generators recharged, which will also require me getting a couple more solar panels, which they have at Harbor Freight and they have on surplus at Elliott's Electronic Supply. So I'm good to go there. I just have to get the rent paid first so I can free up some funds to go buy some extra stuff. And then life will be more livable, and I won't be broadcasting from my car anymore. I am the hobo podcaster. So that about I think and Shadows Mist and I will be returning to City of Heroes on Monday, assuming that I have enough battery cells to make it all work. But other than that, everything is a go for the 17th of March, also known as St. Patrick's Day and or the Ides of March. Depending on what part of the world you're from, and if you care about such things. But in any case,
Caesar dressing.
Yeah. Funny. The restaurant served it to me with a bunch of knives stuck in it. Anyway, on to the more interesting part of the show, and that is our guest for tonight is Larry Liontamer OG of Overclocked Remix. He is the community manager and submissions judge. Welcome to the program, Larry.
Oh man, what did I do wrong now?
And as always, Discord is roboting a little bit, so we got to watch that too.
Oh no. He said all these mean things about me and all the mean things I've done with my life. And, I'm feeling very attacked right now, but I'll stay.
All right. So tell us a little bit about what you do at Overclocked Remix.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, what don't I do? Oh, I know what I don't do. I don't make music because I have no talent. But it's good to be with you guys. And what does OC Remix do? Well, it's been around for quite a long time. We celebrated 25 years this past December. So it's been around since 1999, the 20th century. And it is fans that take themes from different video game music soundtracks and tribute them by arranging them in various styles. So it's it can be jazz, metal, rock, acoustic guitar, solo piano, any styles are 1000% cool with us. And but besides doing just super close covers where it's the same tempo, same notes, same rhythm, but pretty much just adapted for a new instrument, it is people adding original counter melodies, original solos. Some people add lyrics, but really it's just personalizing your approach to the theme in some sort of unique and special way that stands apart from the original music. And we have been doing it for, as I said, a long time. So we've got over 4,500 tracks. Everything is available on ocremix.org for free, 1,000% for free. So yeah, we've had over 4,500 tracks thus far by more than 1,000 different artists. Some have gone on to become professional video game composers. And I've been involved as just I've been a fan since 2002 when I was first told of the website existing. And so myself, I've been one of the judges that helps with the selection process. So I've been doing that for more than 20 years, which definitely does not make me feel old and ancient like a hag. So, but yeah, no. So I get to hear great video game music arrangements pretty much every day, and we're trying to post them pretty much every day. And what else to say about it? Goodness, all I can say really is that if you're looking for either a nostalgia itch to be scratched with video games that you played either back in the day, or we've got plenty of modern takes as well, I recommend that folks try everything. There's a lot of great music to be found. Even when I was just a fan to start with, I only listened to this is when OC Remix had about 500 tracks or so, and I grabbed maybe like 20 and thought, oh, this is cool. I like this. This is good. I like what I'm hearing here. But I stuck with just some of the games that I grew up with and didn't really explore around the website. It wasn't until I told my best friend from high school about it, and he downloaded everything because it was free music back in early 2000s, which is like a godsend back then. So back in the Napster, BearShare, Audio Galaxy days, ancient, right? We're going super ancient, and he grabbed everything and did the work for me of having all the music handy. And when I listened to them later, I went, oh shoot, what the heck? And introduced myself to a bunch of video game soundtracks that, from games that I'd heard of, but never got a chance to put my hands on. So, the Castlevanias, the Mega Mans, Secret of Manas, Final Fantasies, all that kind of stuff. And
right.
that kind of turned me from just being a casual fan, like, oh, this website's cool. Yeah, I might look at that, into, oh my God, I need all the music. I'll never skip anything ever, because I was hearing so many great ideas. So yeah, that's sort of the gist. And then right, being a submissions judge, right? So the main thing that's different about just finding video game music on Bandcamp or YouTube or Spotify or what have you, OC Remix, the main thing is that everything goes through an evaluation process and is vetted for not just production quality, but arrangement creativity as well. Like I mentioned, right? Not just doing a simple note for note cover. And we have plenty of veteran contributors, who are talented musicians, as well as a few listeners, of which I am one of them, that will listen through the submissions we get and, judge them for that arrangement, creativity, and production quality. And if it gets enough yeses, it'll get on the website. If it gets more no's, then try again. Try again. But that's the gist of OC Remix.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say that once you said it that way, it started to click with me, because I know that over the last... I've been perpetually online since 2007, although technically I've been in the webcomics community since 1999 as well. So I have run across OC Remix probably everywhere that has short form videos, on Facebook, Twitter.
Oh, true.
Pretty much everywhere, because everybody is constantly reposting your stuff. And of course, we're no strangers to having remixers on the show, because we've had Mega Ran and Smooth McGroove and Daniel Tidwell, and just to name a few on our show as guests. So, I'm a big fan of String Player Gamer and
nice. D-Wood, nice, very nice.
Stone McKnuckle and Game Metal and a few others, just to give you an idea of what I do, because I'm like, as a rideshare driver, I'm known as the retro video gaming guy, because I drive around with a Pac-Man hat and video game soundtracks and covers.
Oh, that's beautiful. I
playing
love
in the
that.
background. So I'm sure that on my YouTube playlist, OC remix songs have come up.
Oh man, that's brilliant. And what is it? No, that's awesome. I think, and just hitting that YouTube angle real quick. One of the things that's been really awesome for us as a community is that, you know, with the music all being free, we also have sort of what we call our content policy, and we always allow creators also to use the music in their videos for free, as long as they attribute where they got them from, right? So we've been in plenty of like gaming video compilations and plenty of podcasts as background music, and even one of the remixers, Daniel Floyd, aka Sapphire, many years ago, he started the show Extra Credits and would use OC remixes within those. So it's and then the late Total Biscuit, he would use OC remixes within many of his segments as well. So it's like there've been, and then I suppose in this day and age, with a lot of the gaming, the speedrun communities that are out there, Games Done Quick uses OC remixes as break music during, in between games, and we've had Zeldathon use some stuff as well. Another charity speedrunning event, and then there's one in Japan that just started using OC remixes a couple of years ago called RTA in Japan, Real Time Attack in Japan. That spun off of sort of Games Done Quick, right, on the Japanese side of the speedrunning community. So I mean, it's great kind of seeing the sort of just everybody hyped for, you know, free video game music and being able to plug that into their creative endeavors. So that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and I wanted to mention, don't hesitate to do any name dropping, you know, just in case you want to promote anything like that.
Oh yeah, no, we're all please. I'm shameless, absolutely shameless. So no, we've had so many great contributors. So it's just I'm happy to be as shameless as possible.
Awesome. All right, let's get down to the nuts and bolts of it. Adam, why don't you go ahead and take over from here?
God, where do we start on that?
Right?
Just given, you know, as you mentioned, there's 4,000 OC remix tracks.
Yeah, we just we're at more than 4,500. So I don't know when we're going to hit 5,000, but it's going to be soon. If you count all the different albums that we've also put out, because we've got a lot of tracks there that don't go through the individual submission process, then we're at well over 5,000 at that point. So yeah, we've got a few.
But I suppose we can start by asking, what attracted you to OC Remix?
Oh man, no, thank you. That's a great question. I'll just say real quick, because I need to give credit to the man who started OC Remix back in the day. So David Lloyd, aka DJ Pretzel, he's the one who came up with the idea in his parents' basement all the way back in 1999, and he was speaking of the webcomic community back in the day. Overclock Remix was actually a spin-off of a webcomic that he was making at the time called Overclocked, and it was specifically geared toward the gaming emulation community, which is a niche of 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 a niche. And he also wanted to have an outlet for making music, and wanted to sort of do something that would motivate him to not just make a track here or there, but to be pretty productive. And he was big into video game music as a kid. He is actually, he's more of a Sega Master System baby, as it were. So I don't know if he even had, I assume he had a Nintendo. He had a lot of the systems, including, growing up, he had the Atari Jaguar, like actually had one. Like, what the fuck?
I still own one. But I'm a 2600 baby myself.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm still waiting for a remix with the Pitfall 2 soundtrack.
Oh my gosh, I need to listen to that. I don't know if there's anything substantive enough to work with, but I would, I definitely want to check that out, because I think to this day we don't have any Atari 2600 arrangements. But then again, right, I'm an NES baby, and I had an Atari 2600 regifted to me by a family friend of ours, but it wasn't really in working order, so never had that experience of getting the right. Probably like it just the pin connectors were jacked up or something like that. But yeah, but DJ Pretzel's the one who started back in the day, and when he made it, I remember kind of reading. He did all the write ups about each of the tracks. Like if you go to the website and check out any track, up until maybe about 2022, he did all of the write ups exclusively about the tracks. Just a few thoughts on his reactions to each of them. I remember he contributed his own music, but I wasn't realizing that at the time. I was particularly smooth brained at the time. I was going, "What is this?" Well, all the write ups are like talking about the tracks, but this one is writing it in the first person. It just sounds so pretentious. Like, well, here's what I did with my track, and I didn't put one and one together. That this is the guy running it, and this is his track. So, what made me get into it more though was I was a video game music fan growing up, and when I went to college at Emory University here in Atlanta, where I live to this day, I was doing a college radio show, and I was doing a mixture of mainstream music and video game music. And when I went to fill in for a DJ that couldn't come into their show, I was like that guy. I was Johnny on the spot. If any DJs couldn't come in to do their show, and they would send a notice into the student radio message board going, "Oh, I can't make it. Just FYI, I'm not going to be able to make it." I'd swoop in and be like, "I got it," and I'd come up with a playlist in 20 minutes. So I was always like, so even though I just had a show Saturday night, 10 p.m. to midnight, which was an awesome time slot, by the way. It's like, okay, I don't need to go out there. My people are, there on the weekends. But so anytime people couldn't make it, I would swoop in there. One of the times I came in there, a friend of mine who was wrapping up his show said, "Oh, Larry, what are you going to be playing?" And I told him, "Oh yeah, I've got some mainstream stuff, and I've got some video game music soundtracks." He goes, "Oh, video game music? You should check out this website, Overclock Remix." I'm like, "Oh, what's that?" And he was big into Castlevania in particular, but he was showing me some stuff. And yeah, it kind of spun off from there in that I told my roommate about it. Grabbed a few tracks from games that I was nostalgic for and kind of left it there, right? Wasn't really exploring it deeply. Later, maybe like a couple weeks later, my roommate plays this really awesome track, instrumental track, and I'm going, "Hey man, what are you playing right now? Like, what is that? That sounds really nice." He goes, "Dude, it's from the website you told me about." Oh snap! What? It turned out to be a Chrono Trigger arrangement by an artist, Chris J. Hampton. It's called The New Zeal. Highly recommended. That was the first OC remix I ever heard from a game that I didn't grow up playing. And man. one would think,
Corridors of Time by String Player Gamer is one of my favorites too.
Oh, nice. Exactly. I mean, it's a classic. It is a classic theme. So, I mean, it makes sense that Dewar or anybody would. I mean, it's like you gotta have it in your catalog for sure. And one would think that when I heard that mix, that would make the light bulb go off. Like, oh yeah, check out everything. It didn't. I'm dumb. Like I said, it wasn't until I told my best friend from high school, and then he grabbed all of the tracks at the time. And so later, during summer vacation, I listened to all the tracks from A to Z. And that was the light bulb that went off. Like, oh my gosh, because I just again was introduced to so many different game soundtracks and so many cool arrangement ideas. And I was going and trying to find the chiptune files off of Zophar's domain so I could listen to the originals and then compare them with the remixes. And I mean, I was going that far. I was deep up in there trying to understand like what the arrangers were doing and how it was differentiating their takes versus the originals, and that gave me like a really, really big appreciation for that.
Oh my god, you are talking the ancient magics of the emulation scene.
Absolutely, dude, absolutely. So I mean, yeah, man, Zophar's domain is still up there. So, but yeah, that was invaluable for me to just have a better appreciation for what the artists were doing. And that was sort of the thing that really turned it from just a casual fan into a super fan. Now, to this day, I still listen to, everything.
Outstanding. Yeah, I found Zophar's domain back in '98 when I was first getting into the emulation scene. Downloaded my first copy of Nesticle there.
I had that, absolutely.
But what was interesting was trying to find Neo Geo ROMs. That was the hard one.
Oh, geez, man, that's a little advanced, yo.
Yeah, because the soundtracks were pretty awesome, and the games were like 300 megs, and you had to go find that Chinese Angel Fire site to
dude. I loved
on AOL dial-up, and let it run overnight to get your ROMs.
Yeah, I didn't play too much on the Neo Geo, but man, like World Heroes, just because I love fighting games the most, and so I love World Heroes 1 and 2 for sure. So yeah, Neo Geo, man, old school, I'm loving it.
Yep. All right, Adam, back to you.
Indeed. And so, what goes into the submissions process? How do you judge a track to be, I suppose the operative word here is worthy of the OC remix?
Yeah, so no, great question. The cutoff bar for like where an OC remix falls has kind of risen over the years. I think it's stayed pretty steady since, I don't know, maybe like 2010 or something like that, where we haven't really raised the bar too high, because you have to keep in mind that OC remix is a hobbyist community, right? We keep our bar at a hobbyist level, and we're not requiring that people come in with pro grade music off the bat, right? It's a place where musicians can learn and grow. But that said, the crux of it, as mentioned earlier, is that it's not enough to just do a 1-for-1 super close cover of the original music. And as I like to say, for some fans, sometimes we'll get comments on our tracks where they go, man, well, it deviated from the original some, and I wish it didn't like change it here. And I go, hey, that's all well and good, but if you need it to sound like the original music, there's always the original music.
Yeah, it keeps you guys from the copyright police kind of like, hi, hello, we like your website now.
Yeah. So, I mean, I will say, right? I mean, there are definitely a good number of melodically close covers on OC Remix, right? But the ways that they differentiate themselves from the original music are more, obviously the instrumentation choice, but then again, sometimes you can alter the rhythms, you can alter the tempo, you can add original counter melodies and stuff like that. So there are always ways that you can personalize it rather, and add your own creative touches to it, so that it doesn't just feel like you're Xeroxing it, to use a dated term, right? But that you're photocopying, that you're just photocopying, or cut and pasting the original and just regurgitating it, right? So
copy pasta, I believe.
Yeah, copy pasting, exactly. So the gist of it, Adam, would be just that we're looking at it for the sort of two core things, right? I mentioned arrangement creativity. What does it do, either melodically or otherwise, to be different from the original music? There's also the production quality, and of course, there's sort of that third leg of the stool for anything that happens to have live performances, right? The performance quality. Obviously, if your things are out of tune and stuff like that, that's not really a good look. But otherwise, those are really the core things. And I think there's always kind of a little bit of a balance to it, where sometimes something is more melodically conservative, but production wise, it just sounds awesome. Where I'm talking about just really polished sounds, great effects. Everything sounds big, everything sounds very cohesive. And so sometimes there's a little bit of a seesaw where it's like, okay, well, the arrangement could be a little bit more creative, but dude, this is hitting like, here's like a EDM version or something like that, and it's hitting really well. Or here's an acoustic guitar rendition, and
Eurobeat intensifies.
yeah, but sometimes with some live stuff, right? Just the natural performance dynamics that are implicit within a live performance of it. It can give it a different character than the original song. So sometimes there's that, right? And then other times, you'll have it where the people will use samples or something like that, or it's produced and it's maybe not sounding quite as polished, but the crux of it, the arrangement, is very, very creative. And sometimes you have that balance, right? Where the arrangement is so creative, and maybe this could be a little bit more polished. Maybe the mixing's a little bit off, maybe it clips a little bit, something like that. But the overall idea and the creativity is just so good that we're going to go ahead and take it anyway. So there's always that balancing act there. And the other core thing I would like to say is that, again, right, since it's a hobbyist community, you don't while you want to have a quality bar and you want to make sure that what we're posting is pretty strong, you don't want to make the perfect the enemy of the good. And so we have plenty of tracks that we approve where we say, oh man, I wish it tightened things up here and there, and I have some suggestions for you, but I'm not going to necessarily require that you do them in order to post it, So yeses with flaws, totally acceptable. And we don't want to make the perfect the enemy of the good.
Yeah, I was going to say as a sort of add-on comment to what you were talking about with sometimes the arrangements are better than the original. Back in my smooth brain youth, we're going to use that term a lot tonight. But just,
well, we were talking about Doe. You were talking about Doge earlier, so yeah, plenty of smooth brains up in there.
But in my smooth brain youth, I was like, how can you possibly improve on Kinuyo Yamashita or Michiru Yamane or Yasunari Mitsuda or Nobuo Uematsu, and yet here we are. I've actually found covers, like Travel Demon by SSH that
nice.
Just absolutely blow the originals out of the water in every conceivable way, so it's just fascinating to see, and I'm so glad that I found the community, in order to be able to to hear these covers and enjoy these alternate takes on stuff.
No, absolutely. I remember many years ago there was a fan on our Facebook page, and they had I'm sorry, there was a fan on Twitter, right? They're like, hey, I like some of what OC Remix does, but I don't like them in principle because they're trying to show up the original music. And I remember responding to that going, we're actually not trying to do that. And I get what you're saying, right? Because we've had composers, like I remember Tommy Tallarico said many years ago, he goes, dude, they do it better than we did it. So I get that. I've heard original composers say that the arrangements outdo the original music, and I shit. I mean, I bow in appreciation for just them paving the way for that. But that said, the idea isn't even necessarily to improve upon the original music, right? As opposed to just show, I like to say, we like to demonstrate the quality of the compositions. We like to demonstrate the quality and flexibility of the compositions through these interpretations. So because a lot of people, especially with old school music, 8-bit, 16-bit chip tunes and that kind of stuff, people will say, oh, well, these melodies are cool, but the sound quality, it just, it's just kind of bootleg. Especially, for those of us out there who, didn't grow up on those platforms and maybe aren't aren't gamers and can't really appreciate the 8 and 16-bit stuff, even PS1 era stuff for what it was, right?
Yeah.
And so but if you take those and you repurpose them and you give them kind of upgraded instrumentation and stuff like that, then you can hear I've definitely seen people turn around and really understand and appreciate the quality of the music once they hear it with higher quality instrumentation. And sometimes you need that as sort of the gateway. There's a particular Mario 1 arrangement that we have by an arranger, Schnabubala. He is absolutely a phenomenal, like he's a virtuoso level musician. But it's called
music remixing and speedrunning, perhaps two of the fields in which you must most often and most severely take names seriously that otherwise would be utterly impossible to take seriously.
Absolutely. And he's got a wonderful arrangement of the classic overworld theme from Mario 1 called Mario Likes Thorazine. I would absolutely recommend checking that one out, because one time I did a presentation about OC Remix in general, and I had lots of different examples, but I opened with playing the Mario 1 theme because, especially for the demographic that I was presenting to, everybody had heard that theme, whether they were a major gamer or not, right? Super Mario Brothers 1, most people had heard it, or had seen the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, or stuff like that. They had a frame of reference for it. And then at the end, I played
Mario rap.
Well, no, I played. Well, you're making me think of like Group X and Mario Twins. Well, they're like good goddamn the same. Anyway, but yeah, I played Mario Likes Thorazine, an extended segment of that, and it was nice seeing those light bulbs go off, like, oh snap. But I had a lot of comparative examples in that discussion. I need to upload. I have a recording of it. I need to upload it to YouTube. But yeah, I mean, whether or not you're arranging old stuff or even new stuff, it's amazing to see the different styles that are there, because the other thing is, while we have lots of cool melodically conservative arrangements on the site, there are of course a lot of highly transformative ones. And so whether or not it's hearing aquatic ambience from Donkey Kong Country 1, but metal, something like that, where you're like, oh my gosh, like I had no idea you could do it, like it's such a chill theme, and now like you're headbanging to it. So there's lots of wild transformations
truly
too.
the master of puppets of video game music.
Hey, I mean, so many good ones, man. So many good ones. So yeah, it's always cool hearing the highly transformative ones too. And then the last thing I'll say on that, kind of the overarching point, is that what's really cool as well, and I sit here as living proof, right? Because if I had not heard the full OC Remix catalog, like I wouldn't be here today, right? I wouldn't be the submissions judge. I wouldn't be the community manager. I wouldn't have gotten to have my name in the games of various my name in the credits of various video games from being involved in soundtrack development and stuff like that. And it's getting to explore and learn more about different video game soundtracks as a gateway, with OC Remix, that has been really, really rewarding and really, really cool. So for anybody that kind of goes like, oh, I would recommend to anybody, right? Like, don't be like me. I was totally smooth brain and was just checking out, I was sticking to Super Mario Brothers, Sonic 1, 2, and 3, Streets of Rage 1 and 2, Street Fighter 2, and that kind of thing. But there's so much beyond the nostalgia factor. Like, go there, right? I'm happy for anybody to go and check out what we have based on their nostalgia. But I would say, especially, hey, if you find some artists you like, check out the stuff that they've done from the games that you're not familiar with. Or, be like me, grab everything and just put them on shuffle, and get rid of the ones you don't like, but make a note of the ones that you do, and you'll find so many, like just like countless. You'll be shocked at what you find, and you'll be shocked at kind of finding stuff that you didn't even know you were looking for.
Right. Now I just got to find the definitive metal cover of the Darkman theme from Mega Man 5.
Oh my gosh, we definitely don't have that, but boy, there is oh man, I'm trying to think. There's I'll look for it. There's a Mega Man 5 one that I like a lot that I'll link y'all in the Discord.
Okay.
Right. Question: are you okay with us playing an OC remix track?
Oh no, absolutely. You do not have my permission. I am going to kill, everybody here. You cannot. Y'all can. Yeah, please. But
The gas is coming through the speakers as we speak.
we have so many good ones. Like, please, and if you have any, you know what? Here, I'll link it in the in our voice chat, right there. An excellent Darkman arrangement from Mega Man 5. So yeah, that one is strong. It's called, I'll say it, for everybody listening in, it's by Night Swim. It's called A Crook Man's Eyes. Mega Man 5 is very underrated musically, for sure. Very underrated. I feel like all the attention goes to 1, 2, 3, and 6 in terms of the NES era, but 5 is slept on a lot, and so. Yeah. And you could argue that Darkman is the best stage in terms of the music. So, but there's a lot of good ones. I remember, Joshua Morse. It's not something that's on OCR, but Joshua Morse, one of the arrangers in the scene, he had a really cool cover album of the stuff from Mega Man 5. I don't think it's like publicly available anymore, but boy, it was called Mega Man 5 Dashed. Maybe somebody out there, has it or hosted it on archive.org or something like that. But just really catchy cover album of the Mega Man 5 soundtrack.
Nice.
Petty, can you hook that up?
I am working on it now.
I gotta find more stuff by 2.5, which is that's Noriyuki Iwadare who did the Langrisser series.
Yeah, Grandia.
Grandia, yep.
Yeah, Phoenix Wright, yep.
Phoenix Wright, yeah. Yeah, his rock band back in the 90s was called 2.5, and
wow.
Came along with him back and did all the soundtracks for most of those games. So that kind of rock and roll soundtrack, that kind of like metal sound that the Langrisser series had, and Growlancer and stuff like that. That was all that guy.
Oh, sweet! Hey man, you're schooling me. I didn't even know about 2.5, so I gotta check that out, man, for sure.
Yeah. Back and these guys all came up from they came up with like Motoi Sakuraba from Wolf Team and all that back from Telenet Red Japan.
Wait, hold on. I've got a fun Sakuraba story. So we are actually blocked on Twitter by Sakuraba. I want to explain it. Yes, hold on. It's for a fun reason. So in 2020, we had a Golden Sun album come out. Now, a lot of times when we have remixes that would come out, or albums, we would tag the original composer, just to show them love and stuff like that. Well, what we didn't know, and I just didn't know, was that the reception for this Golden Sun album, like the hype that people had for it, was over the top crazy. So Sakuraba, it's more like, somebody like tell him to unblock us. It's all good. I mean, I really don't mind. It's all good. He got more than in a day, got more than 1,000 notifications about this because we said and much love to Motoi Sakuraba. We tagged him, but I mean, typically we don't get that many. It's not to say that we only get say 5 likes or something like that, but this thing absolutely. With Golden Sun, and it not having had any stuff in the franchise for quite a while. Yeah. Boy, holy crow, it blew up, and he got more than 1,000 notifications in a day, and we got blocked because it was just
get out of my mentions.
Get out of my mentions. So didn't know, probably didn't know how to mute it or whatever. It doesn't matter, it's all good. We love Sakuraba-san. It's all good, but it's just absolutely.
All right, I have it kind of playing now.
I'm a huge fan. My ex got me into the Tales series and
sweet,
and of course Valkyrie Profile and
very cool
Ace and Tri Crescendo stuff that he did, because that was all graduates of the Wolf Team, from Telenet back in the day.
Yeah.
So I and Adam always makes a face when I mention this, but I was a fan of the Ernest Evans / El Viento / Annette Futaba series because that was Wolf Team, and of course it has Sakuraba music.
Well, dude, we have definitely got some pretty decent Tales representation on OCR for sure. We had a Tales of Fantasia, Tales of Symphonia dual album that came out way back called Summoning of Spirits. So yeah, we got some representation there. A little bit of Valkyrie profile, not too much, but we've definitely got some representation on that for sure. And I think maybe like I don't know if it was anything that Sakuraba did, but like I think maybe one Langrisser, like a Langrisser 2 arrangement. Somewhere on there. So it's like, there's been, maybe like more than 1,000 games that have been, different games that have been covered by the OCR community. So always down for more though.
It's kind of funny that you mentioned Summoning of the Spirit because that was actually the battle music for both Tales of Fantasia and Tales of Symphonia.
Yeah,
did you know
absolutely.
Did you know that both games are set in the same world 4,000 years apart?
I did not, because as I always like to joke, and this is just for me, but RPGs are for geeks. So I am more of me personally, I'm more of a fighting game person. The only RPG I've ever played is Final Fantasy IX, and it was strictly the card game. It was just like Quad Mist or whatever, just playing the card game and trying to level up the little slime characters or whatever, which I jokingly nicknamed it Flan. And then every time I would get other cards, I would name them offshoots of that. So Flan, Super Flan, James Flan Jr., stuff like that.
Oh,
Somebody
man.
remember James Bond Jr.
Hey, James Bond Jr. for the NES had incredible music by Neil Baldwin. I would that's a highly recommended soundtrack. It is low key, like just doesn't get any love whatsoever, doesn't get enough credit, but Neil Baldwin, any of his stuff, awesome. So James Bond Jr. for the NES, definitely really good music.
I was in middle school when that series came out on television. And, battling the agents of scum.
Yep.
And
by that point, I had seen
with Bond.
By that point, I had seen all of the James Bond movies through Timothy Dalton, and I was like, and so I would turn to my mom and I would say, "Isn't that character dead?" And she would just, cluck her tongue and go, "Yes, honey, he's dead."
Hey, I'll just say real quick on the James Bond tip. One of the things that was really cool, and I enjoy James Bond. One of the things that was really cool though was that I played GoldenEye 007 a lot before I ever saw the film, and I got to give it up to the team at Rare because a lot of video game adaptations, they don't necessarily care about the story, or especially back in the day, right? The memory would be so limited. So you're basically just doing a very just kind of tangential adaptation of whatever's being whatever work it's derived from. So to play GoldenEye 007 though so extensively, and then maybe like a decade later watch the GoldenEye movie the first time and literally see it go from level to level to level to level. I'm like, oh shoot! Like I was like, oh, this is so awesome! Like the progression of it, going from like the runway to like the facility and all that kind of stuff. You're just like, oh, it was really really cool. And then even capturing different moments like Bond, like bungee jumping and stuff like that, just
right.
Or like having to escape with the plane, just really really cool. I just appreciated GoldenEye so much more, the game, on just such a deeper level, understanding how faithful it was to the film, but just sort of like the great pains that the Rare team took in making it a really really faithful adaptation. I thought it was next level. Like, shoot, not just a great party game for your friends and doing like slappers only, but awesome doing the missions and seeing how it followed the actual film.
It was nostalgic for me because that was the first James Bond movie I went to the theaters and saw myself.
Of course.
You know.
I remember Grant complaining about the compression on the N64.
Yes. Oh well, I mean, look, that makes total sense, man. Like, I think, yeah, doesn't he have a like a quote unquote restored, or full version on his Bandcamp or something like that?
Yeah, he released the uncompressed track.
Yeah.
I remember that coming up when we talked to him, however long that was.
Yeah, no, he's a super awesome dude. Yeah, he's on OC. He's got an OC remix on there. He did a really awesome. He appeared as a collaborator with David Wise. So OC remix number 2000 is from our Donkey Kong Country 2 album called Serious Monkey Business. And we the team, they asked David Wise to come on, and he did the credits theme. So he had Robin Beanland and Grant Kirkhope collab with him as performers, and he arranged his own credits theme. So that was really awesome. And then David Wise was back on the Donkey Kong Country 3 album as well. So,
that's interesting.
Small world.
He didn't actually compose on that one.
Oh yeah, but it's nice having all the Rare alums do that. I mean, Grant Kirkhope was part of the Donkey Kong Country series because he did do music for Donkey Kong Land. So,
and
for the Game Boy.
Nice.
I think that was his first. Yeah, that might have been his first. That might have been his first project.
Yeah, that was his first solo outing. Anyway, that does bring me to a question. How do you arrange all these collaborative albums?
That's a great question. The
Is it
thing
like herding cats, or does that sound easy by comparison?
It is like herding cats. The thing is, one of the things I always recommend is that anybody can come in and do it. So people kind of, an overarching thing, right? People kind of go like, oh, I wish OC Remix had, such and such game, or I wish they had an album of like this, and I don't know why they don't have it. It's like, guy, come in and do it. You know what I mean? Like, we're open to whatever. We don't dictate what gets made, right? So some people will go, oh, what makes you choose what game you're going to arrange for an album? It's like, we didn't choose. Somebody from the community was jazzed about a particular game, and they wanted to make it happen, right? Like, none of it comes from the top down. Does that make sense, right? It's all bottom up, where the fans decide, like, I would love to cover this soundtrack, or I would love to honor this composer, or I would love to do a theme of, like, for example, we've had a album a few years ago called Hometown Heroes, and it was just arrangements of different town themes. So anybody can come up with a concept. Anybody is welcome to come in and organize. They can join our Discord and recruit from there. There's even a separate album collaboration server that's been set up. Again, that was fan made, and that was set up by one of our album directors, Dark Flame Wolf. They set it up to recruit and organize album production on their side. They had organized, how many albums? Our Skies of Arcadia album, or Jet Force Gemini album, and our Final Fantasy VIII album. And so, everything is from the bottom up. It's fans that just want to see something happen. The first album project that happened was back in 2003. One of the veteran remixers at the time, Protricity, did something for Super Metroid. That album was called Relics of the Chozo, and it was mostly him involved, and he had a couple of collaborators come in to kind of add some stuff, to kind of buttress a few of his tracks. We had a couple of remixers come in and do their own thing, but really sort of the first broader, more community album where it was more of a compilation and not just driven by one person's music. That came a year later with our Donkey Kong Country album. That was OCR's second album, called Kong in Concert. And so really it's just, the fans will come and organize it. And people also ask us like, oh, hey, do I need to be established, in the community? Do I need to be a musician? Do I need to, I don't know anybody. Am I allowed to come in? Dude, anybody can come in. All you need is the dedication and the willingness to, essentially, just like Gallic said, right? Herd the cats, like be willing to really, right? What is project management, right? I do that as my day job. And so, but really when I came in, right, I don't have any project management certification or anything like that. So when I came in, I asked a veteran of 20 years, and I said, like, yo, what do you do? And she said, listen, 90% of it is communicate. And that's what I would say that same principle applies to managing and directing and producing an OC Remix album. It's like, stay on it. And so the life cycles of these albums can like wildly vary. Like we've had stuff where it's really quick and it can take just a matter of months to put together. Typically something might be in a development cycle for maybe like a year, 2 years, maybe like 3 years. We have also had some stuff take more than 10 years, where it'll get like handed off from like one guy, and then they get like, real life catches up with them and they're like, I can't do it. Is somebody willing to take it over? And then somebody else takes it over. And then that person goes, oh, like real life, I push it as far as I can. I don't want it to die, but I think I've tapped out for like what I can do. Let me hand it off. And we've had that, like our Seiken Densetsu 3 album, known as Trials of Mana for like, the remake that came out. But yeah, we've got the Seiken Densetsu 3 album that took more than a decade from like start to finish. It is an absolutely, it's a phenomenal album, and it is gigantic, right? So the 10 years, it wasn't just 10 tracks or 12 tracks. It's a ton of them. But that said, it can wildly vary, and all I can really say is just, hey, if you're willing to put in the work and you're dedicated enough and care enough about a specific game or franchise or composer or theme, come on over to the OC Remix forums, put up your idea, and say you're actively recruiting, and people will show up and be like, hey, can I claim this? Can I do this? It's there for the taking. And you can join our Discord as well, discord.gg/OC Remix. You can join there and find different collaborators, find people that are claiming, playing different instruments and stuff like that. People that are producers, that people that can do mixing and mastering. We've got visual artists as well. So it's like, you could pull together a team and get it going, but all you need is the passion and the ability to communicate. And that's really it.
That's right. A working knowledge of and preferably licensed copy of Fruity Loops and Heart.
Hey, listen, I remember pirating Fruity Loops back in 2002 when I was like getting into those serious community.
Well,
and listen,
yeah.
I tip my cap to anybody that's willing to get into it, because I started like, futzing with it and playing with it, FL Studio a little bit. And as soon as I started like, just doing some stuff, I'm like, oh, no, not for me. No. Can't do it. I'm intimidated. Like, nah. So, my role is just to be
reasons.
Oh, sure. But my role is just like a listener and a fan, and who knows? I don't think I'd ever like get into the arena myself, but I've got a lot of musical ideas, so it's like, well, maybe one day, maybe we'll pirate that copy of FL Studio, baby. Let's get it.
As long as it's an original take, we don't ask too many questions about how you made it.
Oh, exactly. Oh, never. No. We do not.
Well, it's kind of hilarious. When I started doing the video portion of the show, I had no idea how OBS worked. Now, it might be held together by string and some sort of eldritch prayer, but it works.
Oh man, hey, listen, more power to you, man. I need to do that. Like, I need to revive my college radio show that I had, VG Frequency. Man, it had an international audience and stuff. Like, people were listening from around the world, and I was having tons of remixers and like guests and stuff like that on there. But boy, it's a new day and age. You gotta have the video component too. And I just look at OBS like, what do you do here? Oh my gosh, I don't know. So everybody's if you know how to use OBS and can make videos, I'm like, what wizardry is this? So no, respect, man. No, it doesn't matter. Yep, it can be held together by duct tape and spit and a prayer and all that, man. It's all good.
It's literally so scuffed. Windows updates break it.
Hey, all good.
OBS has gotten interesting now, since they now have native multi-streaming built in, like direct connections to Restream.io, and now they have vertical format with the Atune plugin. So you can simulcast to Twitch and TikTok and Reels and YouTube and Shorts all at the same time.
What is that add-on? What is that? Oh, with Restream.io?
Yeah, well, and the vertical format is AITUM.
AITUM. Awesome. I got to write that down. I'm writing it down. I'm learning.
I've used it a couple of times to render clips for the Tiki-Takis, the clock app.
The one that's not the book that is read.
Yeah.
I love it. See, I'm learning. I appreciate you, Mac. Thank you, dude.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, the whole promotion thing has been a thing since I started in webcomics 25 years ago. So, it's just that's why I'm perpetually online, is because I'm always learning new things about how to self-promote.
Yeah, I was joking earlier with y'all. Like I said, I saw a fan on a Blue Sky yesterday, and they were going, "Oh, I'm loving listening to these OC remixes. Some of them I haven't heard for like 20 years. Why am I such an old hag?" And I'm like, "No, come on, oh, come on. We're happy to get old. Like, it's all good. Listen, right? I mean, you can't stop it, right? So you got to embrace it."
See, that's the thing. These kids on the internet are using the Leonardo DiCaprio model of hag maxing after 25.
I hate that term.
And here I am sitting here at 48 going, "Shut up, you zygotes."
Listen, man, like I just turned 43. Like, to me, I'm like, dude, I've never been better. Now, let me preface that. Do I need to go outside and do cardio like I used to do, right? Like 25 years ago, I used to run 3 miles a day. Now I run precisely 0 miles a day. So, can we improve that? Yes. But in terms of just overall knowledge and ability to help people and just, having sort of like that veteran status, dude, I have like never been more on top of my game. I am so happy. Like, gosh. So, when I did job hunting a few years ago, right? I hadn't done any job hunting in 11 years. And I'm like, oh gosh, what do you do, man? I got to write a resume. I'm like so out of practice. I don't know what to do. So,
and you can't call anybody. You can't call anybody like the old days. Like, hey, I was just checking up on my resume. Hey, we just threw it in the garbage. Thanks to you calling.
Exactly. So I had to figure out, like, in this modern day and age, what's the best format? Like, what do you need to have? What do you recommend?
Mean you want to bring your resume in person? Are you a degenerate?
No. We can't do that. What format? Yeah, what format is best and that kind of thing. And so I learned so much. But really, at the end of the day, after I finished my job search, got a great new job and everything like that, because I'm the community manager, I'm like, I got to spread the word, right? Self-promotion, right? You got to get in there. But what I did was, within the video game music arrangement community, since then, I've helped 8 different people upgrade their resumes and get new jobs. So it's like, you gotta like that. I'm like never been happier in terms of where I've been, because it's like, okay, I've got some miles, yes, but I've also got skills that I can use to help other people and, lift them up. So it's not just being selfish, like, oh, how is this going to help me? It's, paying it forward and just trying to help lift other people up.
Yeah, there's always that thread hijacking element from the old forum days that gets people in trouble, where you're in there going, that political take is really fascinating, but have you heard about our Lord and Savior OC remixes?
Oh, well, hey, it's all good, man. We could use one of those up in NeoGAF or, whatever.
Right?
People don't even use forums anymore.
That's the way to handle trolls right there. Is to indoctrinate them into your cult of entertainment.
Sure, we've got plenty. We've got plenty of shit posts on there. You can, you don't have to be, it doesn't have to be a full step removed. It can be like a half step removed. Like, hey, I see you're a troll. Well, here's the shit post for you. Enjoy. Music of My Groin by Cheryl Riley.
Here's a meme from music that I created myself.
Yeah.
So the Beethoven approach.
Oh.
Absolutely.
There you go. Did we ever play the music? I didn't remember hearing it.
I've been like thumbing through tracks over here.
Oh, you're good. Please,
you're in rabbit hole mode.
Basically.
Oh, you're all good. You're all good. If you go to our Blue Sky, I don't know if I have it pinned or whatever, but we have one big RAR file with like
I'm looking
almost
at the YouTube
everything
now, just so I
Oh,
can also
sure,
get
sure,
the
sure.
track title and stuff on there, so I don't have to worry about going through each and every one of these and
Of
going through
course.
proper citation. Like, bro, just type the track title into YouTube.
course,
You'll
of
literally
course.
find it.
Well, for anybody that also, we have a fan made radio station. So fans did it. It's called Rainwave. If you go to rainwave.cc,
Mhm.
they curate it as well. So anything that's either lowly rated or it's got vocals that people don't like or whatever. So it's curated for your listening pleasure and stuff. Rainwave.cc. They also have original soundtrack channels, chiptune focus channels as well. So great streaming radio for anybody to enjoy. And then for anybody that needs it for, say, like their Twitch streams or stuff like that, especially on the OC Remix channel, since that's not going to get you, hit with like content ID matching and stuff for the most part, right? We have some stuff, but there's a Twitch widget that you can embed on there, and it'll display the credits right there. So to kind of save people the trouble of trying to figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what I mean, so I'll just say real quick in terms of like my musical stuff, right? Because I mentioned, I'm a fighting game person and everything like that. So I'll just say real quick, and then I'll kind of toss it to you guys because I want to hear what gaming stuff, gaming soundtrack stuff y'all like. I mean, for me, I grew up. I was an NES kid. I grew up on Super Mario 1, 2, and 3. 3 is the absolute pinnacle of Mario for me. Of course, love Mario World, love Mario 64, all that. No hate, love it. Only had my hands on Mario Galaxy a little bit, but I see, obviously, I get it. It's awesome. But love the original NES Mario series. Love Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2 is my personal favorite soundtrack of all time. 17 character themes up in Super Turbo, not one dud. Some people can say, "Oh, well, I don't remember them all," or whatever. But for me, every character theme, I know them, very well. All very catchy. Said Streets of Rage. Love Yuzo Koshiro, a tremendous chiptune musician. Goodness gracious, yeah. But I mean that's mainly it. I mean, what video game soundtracks are y'all about? Whether it's as kids or what are you vibing with now? Always down for recommendations too, in terms of just stuff to check out.
I guess I'll go first.
Yeah.
Go for it, Adam.
The other day I listened to one of the most underrated DS soundtracks, and that's the Dark Spire.
Oh.
Like
Dark Spire, interesting.
the Dark Spire, that was a late Atlas release, a dungeon crawler. Really interesting soundtrack.
Perfect. I'm writing these down for me to follow up
Today
on.
I listened to one of my favorite soundtracks, the Tropico 1 sound.
Oh, Tropico! I feel like a criminal that we don't have any Tropico representation. So,
Oh man.
a little Sim City, a little Sim City, but yes, man, Tropico. That's awesome. That's great.
All right.
Who's going next?
I mean, for me, it's obviously anything that's by Sakuraba, but also like you mentioned that town music, and I got to go see if you have the hometown from Breath of Fire 2.
Oh, I don't think we have that repped on the site yet.
Oh, yeah.
I guess if we're
Yeah.
talking Wolf Team, I prefer Yatsunori Mitsuda.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with anything from Chrono Trigger or Chrono Cross, or from Xenosaga, Xenogears, the opening theme to Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah. My favorite is from Shadow Hearts, though.
Nice.
Tetsuya Takahashi said that he could not make Xenoblade Chronicles without a Yatsunari Mitsuda song leading the charge.
Right.
What else? I mean, the fighting games are great. Anything Mega Man, obviously.
Nice.
String Player Gamer's cover of Snake Man from Mega Man 3 is an absolute bop.
Check that out. I will.
The list
I will-
is huge. Obviously, I'm a gigantic Michiru Yamane fan. I almost got her to compose a track for one of my animated shows, but there was a money issue. It was,
Oh, dude, there's no shock, man.
I'm friends with her on Facebook, and she referred me to her manager, and her manager said, "Okay, so for each minute, it's $1,500." And I'm like,
well, that's what Kickstarter's for, but also begging.
We
Like,
tried that. We came up about $9,500 short of our $10,000 goal.
I feel you. I'll say real quick on the Mega Man side, we have a wonderful. We only have one for-profit album that we've ever done, right? That's like not, the stuff is not freely available on OCR, but we had a 25th anniversary Mega Man album that we did because Capcom asked us to make it. So he's like, oh, sure, like we can totally do that. That would be awesome. So it's called For Everlasting Peace, and it is 3 arrangements apiece from the first games in each of the major Mega Man series. So, mainline Mega Man X, we got Zero, we got ZX, Legends. Yeah. So going through like all the major first games and doing a handful of mixes from each. So that is a strong album.
One of the most popular.
How specifically is the question more? Is it favorite video game music just in general, or?
Yeah. Just like, what do you like, man?
So
it could be old, it could be new.
I grew up with Super Nintendo. I still think that what they did with that game sound chip was something special.
SPC.
In terms of the relationship between the limitations it puts on and all, but then the potential it has to be used with that.
Sure.
So I think my problems are favorites are probably Secret of Mana and
nice.
Dark Shot, that I still have stuck in my head because it's one of the games I owned. Darius Twin had some really good music.
We have only maybe like
Lords of Thunder vibes.
We only have maybe like 1 or 2 Darius tracks, but yeah.
It's a Lords of Thunder vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Secret of Mana, of course, definitely have a ton of that represented, and we've got a Secret of Mana album as well. And Hiroki Kikuta, super awesome. So I'll tell hopefully a quick and fun story. One of the favorite tracks on OCR, I love it. It's by a dude, Harmony. He is like my doppelganger. He is 4 days older than I am, and he is also like a bald black man. And but he is an aerospace engineer. He is an amazing musician, and he is hyper talented. So for me, it's like, okay, complete inferiority complex. Like, we're the same age. He's just way more talented. He's got a great Secret of Mana arrangement called Dragon Song. It's got original vocals in it and stuff like that. But so we met Hiroki Kikuta, many, many years ago, way back at an Otakon over in Baltimore, Maryland. And we introduced him to Harmony, and without prompting, he air guitared and started like singing the source tune, like and started like kind of like air guitaring Dragon Song and stuff. Like, oh, I love that track. Like he knew it already. I'm like, holy shit. Like just that he knew the track and had heard of it and like recognized it and was jazzed to meet Harmony. And I'm like, man, like this is crazy. Like I would have never thought, like, here we are thinking kind of like, oh, it's such an honor to meet you. And just, we're just trying to be, we're just basking in the glow of like meeting Kikuta-san, but that he knew stuff from OC Remix and that he knew Dragon Song in particular. Like we couldn't have begun to be more hyped on just seeing that reach and just seeing that appreciation, like going both ways. It was really, really cool. Like probably one of my favorite moments just being in this community.
I guess
I'm
it's
sorry, I mean to
just-
Bogart. You know your
Yeah.
thing, Alex. On just
that's fine.
just saying, like, got a great Kakuta story there.
Yeah,
He's
I
awesome.
just wanted to throw out at least the one dark horse because I know that things like Donkey Kong Country and Secret of Mana are
Of
obviously
course, of course.
everyone loves those.
Mhm.
Of course.
And then I honestly, those really are the ones that still kind of do get stuck in my head after all these years.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, hey, they have that status for a reason. You know what I mean? And I think one of the things that can be a little sad about, I guess, just the gaming industry in general, right? There are so many great soundtracks, right? Look, hey, there are a lot of games with mediocre soundtracks, right? I mean, just stuff didn't hit or whatever. But on the flip side, there are a lot of mediocre games that had absolutely fire soundtracks that won't get the due that they deserve because the game wasn't like a super mega success.
Glanced
And so,
over at my
you
copy
know,
of Sonic 06 on the
Fire
shelves.
soundtracks, aka everything from Falcom.
Right? I mean, shoot, right? I mean,
the entire all 10 chapters of the Ease series.
Ease,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
The thing that makes me think of is friggin' Sonic Chronicles, which might have been able to be at least somewhat salvaged if it had a good soundtrack, but oh god.
so apparently, yeah, like that's oh boy, the
That is
Brotherhood.
a
Whoa.
mediocre game that is ruined by a terrible soundtrack.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know precisely what happened with that. Like, I guess the conventional wisdom is that, you know, there's probably a
BioWare
super quick
tried
deadline.
to make a Sonic-esque soundtrack and failed
No,
horribly.
they grabbed a bunch of midis from VGmusic.com and just tried to like
Probably.
slap some stuff, you know, kind of
Thought they
work
were
with some
doing
stuff.
something in a Genesis sound font and just sounded like ass.
I don't know. No, there was nothing Genesis-y about it. I mean, it was just, I mean, nothing.
They might have thought it was, but oh, ye gods.
I don't know what happened, dude. Honestly, it feels like somebody
how
had
did-
set 72 hours to just like come up with something
That
to
might
ship
have
this
been, That
game.
might have been
AKA,
giving them an extension
how to
at that
take
point.
a caramelizing torch to a Yamaha Z80 processor.
Yes,
Oh, no.
dude. Crazy. But yeah, no, Sonic Chronicle. Whoa. Oh, you know, that sounds like a fun thought exercise to be like, can we make something workable out of it? Because the other thing I would think also, and like I don't know who composed or what have you. I know, you know, again, right? I mean, the rumor mill is that somebody just ganked some VG Music stuff and tried to kind of work with that as a base. I don't know. But that said, I would love to know, are there any interviews out there with like whoever, you know, the music team was that had to put this together? Because you know, suckers got to know.
They're probably all hiding in Bunker 76.
I mean, I got to know what's going on, man. Like, I don't know what the heck was going on. That Sonic Chronicles, brutal. Brutality.
That would involve me having a gumption to try and A, get the game, and B, play the game, to look at the credits, see who was involved in the music.
Nah. One of the things that's really fun, and this is just me nerding out and I'm talking about like a super mega dork. Part of the reason why composers are listed on the Wikipedia pages of the games is because I went to like all of the major games that I could think of and added the composers in the credits box for the games. And then at some point it got adapted because it was like, well, you know, that makes sense. And I'm like, yeah.
You know, a lot of the reason that the composers were unknown for so long or used all these weird pseudonyms like Bananarama or stuff
James
like that.
Banana.
James Banana, yeah, you know, Hit 10 or whatever was because there was under Japanese contract laws, they actually couldn't put their real names out there for fear of industry poaching.
Yeah, yep.
There was a
that's
lot of that
crazy.
going on, so they would put fictional names to credit their artists, so that way they wouldn't get snaked. That's why we didn't know 23-year-old Kinoyo Yamashita wrote the most famous Castlevania track of all time, Vampire Killer.
Right.
I had no idea that it was a young Japanese woman who working for Konami who did that, because She had a total bullshit name in the credits.
Absolutely. And boy, you know,
it wasn't until what? It wasn't until Castlevania Bloodlines that we even knew that Michiru Yamane was working for them.
Yo, I mean, you're making me want to go and watch what was that awesome docu-series that Red Bull Academy did, Digging in the Carts? Like, because seeing the feature, you know, seeing a lot of female Japanese composers get some shine and stuff like that. It's like, man, so many legends in the space. Yoko Shimomura and stuff like that. Like, yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah. Kingdom Hearts and she
Street Fighter.
It's Street Fighter. She was originally tapped to do Final Fantasy Versus, which became Type 0, but I don't think she actually did the soundtrack to that. But which one did industry?
Which Final Fantasy did Shimomura work on though? On the main line, was it 15 or what was
15,
it?
15, yeah, 15.
Yeah,
and that soundtrack is absolute fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, after Uematsu retired, they decided they were going to go to a rotating stable of artists instead of having a house composer do it. So 16 has a different composer, 13 has a different composer. 14 is a combination because it uses tracks from Uematsu and a lot of other
Not anymore.
artists.
Post 2.0, it's all been helmed under Soken.
Yeah,
Okay.
Soken, yeah.
Soken, yeah.
And Soken is
And
a
then-
fucking god.
Although I will say I'm biased though. FF13, like Masashi Hamauzu, I love Hamauzu. My introduction to Hamauzu was Saga Frontier 2, and like I love that soundtrack. I love it. Super underrated.
I guess they're back with. I found out that the Saga series returned in 2018, and there's 3 new games.
Wow.
What was it?
Man, I didn't know that.
Scarlet Saga or something like that, or Saga Scarlet.
Shoot.
Yeah, they came back, and I thought that was dead as a doornail because with Square Enix shuttering Tri Crescendo and Tri Ace, that was especially after the disaster of Unlimited Saga, which had a decent soundtrack, but that was its only saving grace. We thought for 20 years it was dead, but no, they came back in 2018, and they're making like mobile games and remakes. Romancing Saga 1 and 2 got remade.
Nice.
I've got the PS2.
I've got I forget which. It might be the Final Fantasy Legend music. I forgot what album I have that's autographed by Kenji Ito, but it might be Final Fantasy. It might be like Final Fantasy Legend, the original like Saga.
Yeah, and Kenji Ito was
stuff
brought
like
back for the 2018 revival of the series.
Oh man,
that comes up on my randomly generated video game soundtrack playlist in my car all the time, and I was like, I have to go look that up, and I'm like, oh shit, it's a new game that came out in 2018.
My oh my! See, I just don't get to play stuff anymore. But I made a conscious decision not to do that. So literally, I'm dating myself, you guys. The last system that I've owned, like obviously, I have an iPhone and stuff. I play some casual games on that. I haven't totally like ignored games, but just the last system I've owned is a Sega Dreamcast. That's how like far out I am, bro. Like I didn't have a Wii, a Switch, like PS2, nothing. Like Sega Dreamcast. 1999. That was my last system, and I don't game anymore. And it'll sound like I'm saying like, oh, I don't vibe with the games that are coming out these days. They're not like I had in my day. They'd been in the 16, but no, just literally, if I spent time playing games, OC Remix in terms of the level of productivity that would happen in terms of posting more music and getting albums put out, stuff like that, it would grind to a halt. So one of the arrangers that I helped out with the resume stuff that I mentioned earlier, right? Hemophiliac. He was shifting his career and stuff like that. And so I helped him on that. And he's like, "Oh, Larry, man, I really appreciate the help, man. Let me get you a copy of Balatro." And I'm like, no. I'm like, oh no. Because he knows how much I enjoy like watching. So Dark Sword. He's the remixer that took over after DJ Pretzel retired from OC Remix back in 2023. Dark Sword took over, and so Dark Sword will come and like hang out, and he'll be playing Balatro, like streaming Balatro and stuff like that. And we love it. Like, not only the music by Luis F, which is awesome, but so Luis F did the music for that. But Balatro, awesome game, awesome music, just love it. It looks addictive, and so exactly.
But I mean,
so hemophiliac offered to get it for me like as a thanks, and I was just like, no, I can't do that.
But I'll tell you what, you really hit it on the head there. That Kenji Ito, especially from Final Fantasy Legend 2, that battle music is etched on my soul, dude. It was like it's just like I hear it in my sleep now.
I feel like a terrible person. I don't think we have that repped on the site yet.
Oh yeah,
like
the main battle music from Legend
to make it
2,
whole.
Oh my god! And the fight against Warmac at the end is oh god, that is just one of the hardest fucking RPGs I've ever played. And that's coming off of Legend 1, where you basically defeat Ashura and the creator by using the saw, which is one of the cheapest tools in the bag. One hit wonder, just done. The creator flew to pieces. Son of a bitch.
Oh, killer! You know what? Let me use your Final Fantasy Legend 2 point as like the backdrop, just to mention one more thing about OCR in terms of the dynamics of stuff. Because we talked about how I said, with albums, anybody can come in and do anything, right? We're all about the fandom just coming in and like taking ownership and getting stuff going. The same goes for representation, right? People will go, oh, what games are allowed, or can I do this one? It's like, yeah, of course you can. As long as it's original video game music, right? You can't just take like mainstream music that was licensed for Grand Theft Auto and do that, or FIFA or whatever, and do that, right? We're looking for original game music arrangements. But that said, yeah, dude, like people will say like, oh, well, this game isn't represented. Is that allowed? Like, yeah, of course it is. Like, we want it. We want it all. So anybody, there is no restriction on what video game music, what original video game music can be arranged. So please, like, bring it. Like, and I get more jazzed hearing stuff from games that we don't have coverage of, or themes that we've never had represented before. Like, look, and I love getting all the classic themes, right? The aquatic ambiences and the Mario overworlds and the Zeal theme, from Chrono Trigger and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Those are always cool. And I will say, right, like it could be very easy after 20 plus years of my involvement there to just be like, oh no, like, Mega Man Dr. Wily again, Mega Man 2 Wily again. And it's like, dude, I've heard so many creative takes from the community that anytime I even think, like even any moment you catch me kind of being like, man, another one, you listen, you go, oh my god, what? Ooh, I can't believe it.
First of all, let me send a flaming bag of poop to whoever's complaining about the Wily theme, because for Mega Man 2, because even Capcom was so enamored with it, they used it again in Wily's Castle in Mega Man 9.
Of course. I mean, come on, man. So no, it makes total sense. It makes total sense, man. The favorites, they're that way for a reason. But and that said, like, never count the scene out. Whether it's OC Remix or otherwise, right? Like seeing what other artists are doing all around online. You mentioned way back Livehouse, SSH, and stuff like what Japanese arrangers are doing in the Dojin side of the scene. Like, dude, it's there's so many great takes out there. It's please let the community cook. That's all I could say. But boy, like underrepresented stuff though, I jump in it. Like I want it. Like give me all, as I've said many a time before. Like Tim Fallon, I want Tim Fallon stuff. Like give me the Plox, give me the Solstice, give me the Silver Surfer. Like I want that. Like Pictionary, we just posted not too long ago another Pictionary arrangement of the title theme from Pictionary. So it's like, dude, we want those too. Give me the low key bangers. Like for real, I want them. We're down with anything.
Yeah. Like, and as I said, those Saga soundtracks, man, they were adrenaline filled. Which is pretty impressive because a lot of RPGs, they waver quite a bit between sort of pastoral battle music, although all the way up to just absolutely shredding metal.
See, if you got the dedication, Mac, you can waltz in there and be like, Saga album, here we go. Like, organize it, make it happen. Anybody can make it happen.
God, I wish I had the time because like I said,
feel you.
Those tracks are etched on my soul. I played Final Fantasy. I didn't play Legend 3, but I definitely I played Legend 2 to death, and I still to this day have not beaten the game. I kept running out of flares against what the hell was I said the final boss's name and I can't think of it off the top of my head.
The creator?
No, the Mega Robot. No, creator's easy. You hit him once with a 10 coin fan or saw. A 10 gold saw. He dies in one hit.
To FF Wiki we go.
Wait, which game?
Legend
Final
2.
Fantasy Legend.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
Legend, yeah.
Saga 2.
Legend.
Yeah. Saga 2, Final Fantasy Legend 2. The one with the blue label. Back when all of Squaresoft's games had monochromatic labels.
Right, yeah, Mystic Quest and not Mystic Quest. I'm thinking
Definitely Legend. It was blue. It had blue. It just had that night, that 3D, that quasi 3D night. With
but you're talking more like the Game Boy stuff.
Yeah, but like Final Fantasy Adventure, aka Secret of Mana 1. Because our Secret of Mana was Secret of Mana 2, Seiken Densetsu 2.
Yeah, they're all something different of Mana, unfortunately. The remake of one is Sword of Mana.
That's another game that's etched on my soul. But I beat Final Fantasy Adventure, so that was
nice.
That was something. I never did find the Aegis shield though, and that's one thing that annoys me to this day, that I was never able to. Even following game facts, I've never been able to find it in the final dungeon.
I'll say real quick on Final Fantasy Adventure. One of the cool dynamics that I'll see in the community sometimes, and on the OC Remix side, is when you have what I like to call like a game champion or like a series champion, where some arranger will come in and just multiple times arrange the same game and just like show like super amounts of love to it. So I know for Final Fantasy Adventure, we've got 2 champions for that one, Zutra and then Big Giant Circles. Like both tremendous artists, and they for anybody that likes Final Fantasy Adventure, go check it out, because the 2 of them have like done the lion's share of all the representation we have for Final Fantasy Adventure.
Now I got to go beat Legend of Mana, which was the first remake of that for the Game Boy Advance. First remake of Final Fantasy Adventure, aka Seiken Densetsu, was Legend of Mana for the Game Boy Advance.
No, that's Sword of Mana. Legend of Mana was the PlayStation one.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah, that's why I was mixed up.
Okay, Sword of Mana.
Yeah, I played Sword. I did not finish it. It was a little bit weird.
Which is a slightly more literal translation of the title Seiken Densetsu.
Yeah. If you accept that mana means like holy.
Yeah.
Because it's Legend of the Holy Sword.
Like, I knew that. I was just testing you guys. I knew that. Man. Right.
Yeah. It was more interesting because they gave the girl a more active role in the game. You can play as her in Sword of Mana.
Oh no, cool. we don't want these woke games. Oh no, look at these woke games that are coming out.
They also removed all of the Final Fantasy franchise features. Generally,
you gotta burn that. You gotta burn that game with fire.
Franchise ones.
Burn the
game with fire. What's this Metroid? What's this, man? What the heck? They replaced our hero with some chick in the armor. Oh, what the fuck?
Well, it's funny because you get the best time in the original game, and Samus reveals herself as a chick, but. It's funny because all of the promo comics and everything, all the official materials from Nintendo totally sold it as a dude.
They know what they They know what it. See, we need a strong male. That's what needs to be in there. We can't these woke games. You know, I just put up. I'll just say real quick. I just put up a Jazz Jackrabbit 2 mix on ocremix.org. Welcome to check it out. Whispers of Ash. Very nice and very chill, very mellow. It's just kind of funny seeing in Jazz Jackrabbit 2. Like, oh, we want to add some more characters. You know, there's Spaz, and then they added a sister, Lori, and I'm like, oh, look at these woke games in 1995. We gotta have a female. We need females, dude. What the fuck? Why can't we just have my testosterone? What's going on?
You know, I mean, you know, it's like you can't satisfy those people because you know that whole crowd. You know, they flipped it around with Metroid Other M and made her more demure and
right.
pining after the male protagonist and everybody pilloried the game. You know, so it's like,
well, that game was written questionably and translated worse. So
I'm well aware of that, but it still doesn't change the fact that you can't satisfy anybody, even the woke or anti-woke crowds. It's like there's no pleasing anybody. There's no pleasing anybody. It's like our jokes about Star Wars and Star Trek fandoms. Nobody hates Star Wars or Star Trek as much as its fans.
No, oh, true. Although I'm not a good Star Wars fan because I've only seen the I saw episode 7, whatever. I saw that, but I've seen the original trilogy and I've never seen any of 1, 2, or 3.
I'm a terrible Star Wars fan because most of my favorite stuff is the EU novels that aren't even canon anymore.
Oh.
I have seen the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy and the first 2 of the sequel trilogy.
We've had this discussion before. The EU was never canon according to George Lucas.
Okay, which aren't allowed to be referenced by most modern products anymore.
Oh, they reference it all the time. You see, the whole purpose of the EU was so that they had a fertile forest to cherry pick from. Whenever they ran out of ideas on the movie or television front, they said, well, let's mine the EU since we own all of that.
All right, I got a quick nerd question. I'm a comic book nerd as well. I don't read any I'm not much of a sci-fi one though. So, you know, I enjoy Star Wars and Star Trek and all that kind of stuff, you know, but very casual. But I'm curious, right? So after Lucas sold Star Wars to Disney, and then Marvel took over publishing Star Wars comics, but I'm still seeing Dark Horse Star Wars comics too.
Those are probably mostly reprints of old ones because there were a ton of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's really just that Marvel technically is because I was wondering, I was like, is there new stuff coming out from Dark Horse that's somehow like semi-official or like how?
I mean since Disney owns Marvel, it stands to reason that they would be the official publisher. But you know, Marvel did the original Star Wars comics back in the 70s and 80s.
Yep.
So, but back during the New Jedi Order era and shortly, like from the Shadows of the Empire era to the New Jedi Order era, there were plenty of comics coming out, and some of those are still available particularly in collections.
Yeah, so Dark Horse isn't doing any new Star Wars content then?
I don't know, but I don't think so.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that every new series that's out right now, even if it's a continuation of something that Dark Horse did, is under the Marvel label now.
Let's see what Wikipedia says.
Cool. Hey, we're learning, y'all. We're learning. No, comic book nerd too.
Here's the thing about that, and I'll make a more generalized statement to keep it brief, and that is that franchise licensing is complicated.
Oh no, I guess they are still doing some things.
Yeah, you see, it's like it's
High
like
Republic Adventures.
It's like Sony owning the rights to Spider-Man and his entire rogues gallery of villains and all of the things related to it, which is why we got horrific trash like Morbius and you know, Madam Web. then we get winners like Into the Spider-Verse and the Venom series. So it's very hit or miss. For a long time, Fox owned a third of Marvel. With the Fantastic Four and the X-Men and all of that, and according to the Wikipedia that I read a while back, Sony currently controls 900 Marvel characters as a result of their control over the Spider-Man franchise.
Holy crow!
Yeah.
Wow. Are they done with X-Men, or do they still control that one?
No, that was Fox, and Fox is now part of Disney.
Fox,
so
that's right.
X-Men is getting rolled into the MCU in 2026, I think. They're going to see
So
their
they
first
can now
introduction.
use the word mutant again.
Yeah, which is why they did that with Ms. Marvel, the limited run series. They suggested that instead of her being an Inhuman, she's a mutant.
Which is like the opposite of what it originally was.
Right. In the comic books, she was an Inhuman.
And the Inhumans were in the comics as we're not going to do anything fun with mutants because we can't make money off movies of them.
Right.
That's so weird.
But then the Inhuman series sucked, so.
Right.
Although, speaking of good Inhuman series, though, dude, the one from the 90s, though, that Marvel Knights, what was it, a 12 issue? With the Jay Lee art. Oh, dude, Inhumans, man. Great series.
Right.
That was a phenomenal series. Yeah, anybody that, I don't know, I haven't really read anything with Inhumans versus X-Men and kind of anything in kind of the more modern age, but late 90s, they had that 12-issue Inhumans miniseries. You don't need to know anything about the characters to get into this. I sure didn't know anything, but man, a tremendous read. Highly recommended for anybody. I mean, just, if you don't want to make the investment of going to go, buy it or anything like that, just make a get a library card, go to your local library, get a library card, and then download the Hoopla app. Have y'all heard of it? Hoopla, kind of like Overdrive. I don't know if you've heard of that one, but this is a digital library app called Hoopla. And if you can connect it with your local library card and get 10 free digital checkouts a month. They've got a slew of comic books on there, including stuff like new trades will hit on Wednesdays and they'll be out same day on Hoopla, including like lots of like omnibus collections and stuff like that. It's crazy. So I would highly recommend it though. Yeah, Inhumans. I forgot who's the author on it. It was really good though. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. Not for nothing, but it's now 1:30 in the morning, so we got to wrap this up.
I was gonna say this has been an amazing discussion, but
it's an all-timer, but it's getting late.
I have to get to work.
Yeah.
We will nerd out again.
Sleeping.
Yeah. We will meet
Sleep is
again
overrated for the week.
Yeah, I mean, this was absolutely great and fantastic. So,
yeah,
we'd love to have you back.
Yeah, man.
All right, so let's
have me on MSP again.
So let's do the summation here. Any appearances or events that we need to be aware of that are upcoming for OC Remix?
Thank you. So a couple of things, and I'll sum it up. So yeah, in April, out in the St. Paul, in the Twin Cities area.
Ooh.
VGM Con. That's going to be great. VGM Con. If you're in the Twin Cities area, Minneapolis, St. Paul, hit that. Great convention for any folks that like MagFest and that kind of thing. Think of it like MagFest, but a smaller vibe. Or if you're old enough like me to have been to the early MagFests, just like the early MagFests. So lots of great performers will be there. OC Remix will have a panel. And just tons of concerts and stuff is going to be going on. And then in terms of stuff, go to ocremix.org. Again, as I said, all the music is free. We've got a lot of great recent albums that have come out. The most recent album that's come out is a wonderful collaboration with Nintendo Force Magazine. It is an audio component with the editor-in-chief, Lucas M. Thomas. He recently wrote a book about Satoru Iwata called The Impact of Iwata. And so we've got the Impact of Iwata corresponding arrangement album, 16 tracks, one representing each chapter of the book. And the music is also used for Lucas reading the audiobook. So check that out. Lots of representation of games from across Satoru Iwata's career. And then a little bit earlier than that, I think a year prior to that, we had our Final Fantasy VIII album, Seeds of Pandora. Absolutely phenomenal. Just one. Track-wise, the largest album in OCR history. 80 tracks, something like that. Yeah, it's a behemoth. But yeah, there's so many great things there. And then the album before that was a Super Nintendo tribute album called Mode 7. It was a SNES jazz tribute. So yeah, check that out by the Overclocked, the OC Jazz Collective. Wonderful EP. Just 7 tracks on there, but wonderful EP. Mode 7, a jazz tribute to the SNES. I highly recommend that. So really, yeah, most of the action per se is what happens on our website, ocremix.org. And I mentioned our Discord server earlier, discord.gg/ocremix. So if you want to just talk video game music, whether you're a musician or not, all are welcome. If you're a musician, love to have you, of course, as well. You can always ask questions about how to submit stuff to OC Remix, or just get feedback from other musicians in the community. So the last thing I'll say about that, and I should have said earlier, right? But one thing that sets OC Remix apart in particular, that one of our veteran contributors, Zircon, said is like a great feature of OC Remix that you just don't find in pro audio communities, is that you will not find a lot of dedicated people that will give you helpful, critical, earnest feedback. That's sort of like the secret sauce that sort of sets OC Remix apart, even in the scene, is because it is very difficult to get feedback from people that give a shit and want to help you. And so would highly recommend anybody that's looking to improve their music, or even are starting from scratch and don't know where to start. You will not find a more helpful community out there that want to see you succeed and want to point you in the right direction and give you critical feedback that you need to learn and grow. So yeah, that's my spiel.
There you go. Amazing. Well, we definitely have to have you back on if we're going to be talking about video game music or just industry nostalgia in general.
Any nerd stuff too. Comic books and pro wrestling are my nerd things of choice. Outside of video game music. I'm also
all the boxes.
Yes, I'm also I will tick a box that nobody else will tick, but I'm also a U.S. presidential history nerd as well.
Oh
so,
boy!
Oh no!
This must be a fun time for you then.
Yeah.
We've got
me and Adam.
Brutal.
Correcting all the chuds on the internet.
Brutal.
Oh, boy.
We've got a long haul for us for the next 4 years, but it's you know what? I will say this. And look, right, everybody has their own political opinions and all that kind of stuff. If you're of the conservative persuasion, y'all are eating good, because this stuff is crazy. For anybody that I would say is more level-headed, this stuff is absolute batshit. But look,
I feel like the last 6 weeks have been a compressed 4-year memory.
Yeah. Well, look, man. I mean, all I can say, right, and I'll just stick my one little political opinion in here, right, is for those Democrats, y'all got to step up and do something. Like, what the heck? I mean, and I say this, right, again, I love presidential history, so I don't I have like an appreciation for politics at its core. And it's like, look, man, if you don't give the people what they want, they're gonna look elsewhere. So, and they did, they could, and they did, and so they're gonna have to come up with something more than just like platitudes and just the notion that like, well, this side is bad. It's like, yeah, they're bad, but what are you offering? Like, nothing much. So, come on, let's step it up. Let's go.
Relationship status, it's complicated.
Absolutely. But no, I appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you so much. I apologize for bloviating as I always do, but that said, I'm willing to bloviate again. We'll hang out again.
Trust us. We've had episodes where we've had guests that say absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
it's over in like 30
to get a
minutes.
half hour.
The anathema of this program is to quote Strong Bad, dead air, dead air.
Yo,
I mean,
okay, wait.
last
Now
week-
go ahead.
last
Go
week's
ahead.
episode had it with a PowerPoint. A PowerPoint.
So look, I mean, we love guests that go this long because
of all,
it means we got content.
I am.
of all the weeks I had to miss the PowerPoint presentation.
Oh my gosh! All right, one more thing. Just since Strong Bad got invoked, April 1st, we will put up a Rad Racer arrangement with copious Strong Bad voice sampling in it.
Oh no.
Mm,
alert.
yes,
So I
Sounds
am.
like Dangerous Part 4.
yes.
So I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. The brothers Chaps also live in the Atlanta area.
Mm.
And so you're making me like, I need to go hang out with them again because I've met them just twice, but they were at a comic book store. They were at like a comic book store appearance that I went to. And then I just randomly, myself and DJ Pretzel were at a conference that Harvard and MIT put on about internet memes called RaffleCon. And they were there because they've done so many memeable things with Homestar Runner, and so they live in the Atlanta area. So I'd wanted to have them on my college radio show like so long ago. So it's been so long, but man, I need to hit them up. Like I'm so glad that y'all randomly mentioned that. Like I really do need to follow through and like connect with them.
Strange thing. I'm actually from the Atlanta area myself. Here, I'm from from Hiram, which is in Paulding County. So, yeah. So
awesome, man.
Yeah.
Small world. We got to link up, man.
Small world. Yeah.
Have you been to the Sonic before it closes up? Or have you been to? You need to drive down and come to the Sonic Speed Cafe.
Where is that? Oh yeah, that
yeah,
I think it was.
No. It's in Atlanta proper. It's on Peachtree Industrial or Peachtree Boulevard.
Yeah, I should check that out before. Yeah.
Yeah, it's only open for it was only open for 2 months, so it's gonna close in like a couple of weeks. So come by, man. Come by.
Yeah. I should.
Hit me up, man. We'll link up.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go. I could find 38 other tangents to chat with you guys about, but no, have me on again. Yeah. We'll talk comic books. We'll talk whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm down always.
Oh, what's that? What's that? No more questions? No more questions? Oh, that's too bad.
No more questions.
Questions.
Well, thanks a lot, man.
Of course. OCRemix.org, shameless plug. Get your free video game music there and find your new favorite music. We would love to have you.
All right.
Outstanding. All right. Do we have any mandatory entertainment news before we sign off for the night?
I think we should just roll it all over to next week.
We're good.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll roll it over to next week.
All right. So that's a big special thank you to Larry OG, aka Liontamer, for the community manager and submissions judge from Overclock Remix. Be sure to check them out. And next week on March 19th, we have TBP of Tactical Bacon Productions creating video essays about various video game subjects such as bully and humongous entertainment on YouTube. So, Adam, anything to add to that? Or
I mean, that's pretty much what it says on the tin. He's got other essays like the time they made Spyro the Dragon into Lord of the Rings, covering the first reboot of Spyro.
Stuff like that.
All right.
A lot of twisted metal stuff here. So yeah, a lot of video essays, as they call them now.
All right. Well, that should be pretty interesting then. So I look forward to it, and we'll definitely do that. All right, so folks, that's it for this episode. This episode of Moonhawk Studios Presents. We thank you for coming out, and as always, I'm Mac Paladin. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there, kids.